Hi, Dr. Chaffee. A significant association between low or lowered cholesterol levels and violence is found across many types of studies. Why do you think that's the case? Love the carnivore zen. Appreciate what you do. Yeah, I've seen that as well. And depression and mental health issues as well. I think that's exactly it. Your brain is made out of cholesterol. Your body's made out of cholesterol. Your hormones are made out of cholesterol. You are unhealthy if you don't have enough cholesterol. That is just a fact. And that's a fact that the drug companies and, and the sugar companies have been trying to hide from you for the last 60, 70 years, but it's true. And so this is not something that you want to play with. And so I think that's why you're just unhealthy. Your brain's not working properly. You don't have the physical structures that can help you properly. You're also doing other things that to lower. You're doing things that lower your cholesterol. You're eating a certain way that lowers your cholesterol. That's also going to cause other problems. You're eating low fat, high carb diets, and your body doesn't work properly. Your brain doesn't work properly. You're not eating enough meat, and your brain doesn't work properly. There's that study out of Oxford in 2008 where they found that after 5 years, vegans' brains, it shrank by over 5%. Right. So you're not getting enough B12. You're not getting enough of these other things as well. Your brain's shrinking. Your axons are myelinated with cholesterol. So if you don't have enough cholesterol, your brain doesn't work properly. Your body doesn't work properly. Your hormones aren't able as abundant. You can't make them. You're going to have a lot of problems. In fact, that might just be one of the things right there. People say it's like, well, when their testosterone is super high, they get roid rage, and yeah, that's possible to freak out if you're just completely off the charts on your hormones. But if you're off the charts on the other direction, if your testosterone is too low, you also get really agitated and really aggressive and really angry, and you're really sharp and you like snap at people. And so I've spoken to so many doctors that deal with that sort of hormonal side of things, and they have men that have low testosterone, and they say that you put them on some testosterone, you just bump that up into more youthful numbers, and their wives come in with them next time and go, "Thank you, he's so much nicer now." And so, that could be part of it as well. If you don't have enough cholesterol, you don't have enough testosterone. Testosterone is made from cholesterol. And so if you don't have enough cholesterol, you're not making enough testosterone. If you're getting a bunch of plant oils, they have plant sterols, that's plant cholesterol, and that lowers our cholesterol because our body thinks we don't need as much cholesterol. And so you don't make as much. You can't make hormones out of plant sterols. So you're not going to make hormones properly, and you're going to have low testosterone, and you're going to be grumpy, and you're going to be grouchy and angry and all that sort of stuff. And obviously that can lead to violence as well, although it doesn't always. But yeah, I think that those are some significant reasons why that could be. 56-year-old male with no weight issues. I have been carnivore for 100 days. My cholesterol is LDL 241, HDL 43. Doctor wants to put me on a statin, says I'm high risk. But are you though? Cholesterol just isn't the cause of heart disease. It just isn't. That was a scapegoat invented by the sugar companies. So I have a video on YouTube just called "The Truth About Cholesterol and Heart Disease," and that goes into that. And Dr. Paul Mason has a lot of videos on that. On cholesterol and heart disease and the real causes of heart disease. There's a book by Dr. Malcolm Kendrick called "The Clot Thickens." It's all about that as well, and how this is nothing to do with cholesterol, and many, many, many others that cardiologists and interventional cardiologists and cardiothoracic surgeons and PhD researchers and professors of everything you can imagine, all saying this is a complete and utter crap. And so check out that video, just the truth about cholesterol and heart disease. There's also a book by a cardiologist named Dr. Asim Malhotra called "A Statin-Free Life," and he goes through the data and the literature. It's not all it's cracked up to be. Unfortunately, we have just been inundated with this false information and false sense of hope from the statin companies. And what's happened, we're reducing cholesterol, reducing meat, reducing saturated fat. We've done all these things and putting people on statins, getting them on younger and younger and younger, and heart attacks are going up. Heart disease is going up, right? And around the world, this is the case, and deaths from heart attack around the world are going up out of proportion with the growth in population. So, the deaths and rates of heart disease are going up around the world faster than the population is growing. So, it's just not what we've been told it was. The sugar companies made this up. They made it up, and they paid off a bunch of unscrupulous professors and doctors, such as Ansel Keys and a bunch of guys from Harvard, who then went on to be head of the AHA and head of the USDA, and they start pumping this out. The AHA, I mean, it's just a mafia sort of organization. They're just sellouts. I mean, they sold out immediately. I mean, they didn't even wait around. They as soon as they got on the scene, they were just like, yep, who has money? Let's do it. And so the sugar companies bought them out. They lied about the Framingham study that, said that the Framingham study showed that higher cholesterol related to, or was associated with, because it's epidemiology, so it's just association, was associated with higher rates of cardiovascular disease mortality. And in fact, the Framingham study showed the opposite. It showed that lower levels of total cholesterol was associated with higher rates of cardiovascular disease mortality. So they lied. They were paid to lie. That's in the literature. That's published data. And then the American Heart Association was paid off by Procter and Gamble, because Crisco was invented by the Germans in 1911 as mechanical lubricant for their U-boats, right? So they're using submarine lubricant. They're using this tank lubricants in World War I, and then Procter and Gamble bought this from them, and they then went on to pay off the American Heart Association $20 million in today's valuation to lie and say it was better for your heart than animal fats such as butter and lard. So, I mean, they're just a bunch of sellouts, and they didn't even sell out for much. I mean, I guess 20 million, but a lot of these professors, they did it for like $6,000. It's the equivalent of $55,000 today. They got $6,500 back then. It's nothing. They sold out real cheap. So your health means not much to them. Your health is worth about $55,000 to them. That's what they'll sell your health for, and the health of the world. So, just don't buy into these people. It's pretty bad. And then you can look at that, and you can look at the work of Dave Feldman, Nick Norwitz. I had Nick Norwitz on my podcast, and we talked about the research they're doing, just showing that this is crap. This is not actually something that is causing disease, and in fact, the treatment is causing harm as well. So I would look into those resources before you consider taking any new medications. When you're in ketosis, more often than not, then you're going through autophagy, and your body is turning over the mitochondria, stimulating more mitochondria. So you go through mitophagy and mitogenesis. So you're turning these things over so they're newer, faster, better, and you have more of them, and so they work better, so your brain works better. And you're also getting rid of all these plant toxins, which cause a lot of neuroinflammation and damage and stop your brain from working properly.